Hi, this is Ginny and this is Bisaya in America, a podcast. So the topic today is going to be it's 5 years in the making actually. And I just feel that this is the right time to talk about it. And it's just, I find it all amusing at the same time, disturbing, amusing, and just interesting. It's been an interesting 5 years, especially here in America. And normal hasn't been normal ever since. And the topic for today is rise of the Trumpies. So back in 2016, even before that, I was following the U.S. elections. And it was really interesting. Bernie, Hillary, and then Trump versus everybody else in his party. And it was just interesting. It was just, it really made me look at politics in America. And I just had a reflection. And it's like, oh my God, this is turning into the politics back home, which is the rise of populism, and we call it masa. Masa means it means like the public, so it's basically populism. And it was very interesting at that time, and it was very surprising for me to find that Trump would eventually be the leader of the land for 4 years. And what a ride it's been. It's been a ride. So I did notice sometime in 2015, 2016, one of my friends who happened to be Filipino was posting about at that time we didn't know. It was fake news. It was basically internet trolls just focusing on just disinformation. And I noticed she was posting about Pizzagate, and at first I found it amusing and interesting, and I'm like, of course we would think that any sane human being would think that it's not real, because it's just too ridiculous that children are being held captive in the basement in a pizza shop in Washington, D.C. So it was really strange, to say the least. And I remember at that time, it was just too much wackiness. And although I'm still friends with that person, I would like to think that I'm still that person's friend, but I just had to unfriend her from Facebook. And I told her, you know what, when you are done with all of this, we can still be friends outside of this, but I'm just not gonna listen to, or not. It was just ridiculous, just posting a lot of fake news and just weird stuff about Hillary, basically acting like a witch or something. It was just weird. And I had no idea back then how rampant and how widespread it was going to be. But I remember that I sent her a meditation CD, and I said, we can be friends outside of Facebook, but I just don't want any of the crazy stuff, because it's just, I'm a logical person, and I'd like to think, although I enjoy a good conspiracy theory or two, I find it entertaining, and it makes you really think, yeah, really, what if? The moon landing thing, that was entertaining. Who knows if it was real or not, if the moon landing was a hoax, but that gets you thinking, Also, I followed the Ancient Aliens it's a show that gets you thinking, yeah, they're onto something. But after a while, it just it doesn't really matter. I mean, will it help me survive in this reality, in my daily life? And so I just decided, yeah, conspiracy theories, they're entertaining, they're kind of fun, but will it really make me happy in this reality, or will it help me get ahead, or like will it make me money or something like that? And so I just decided they're fun. But apparently some people, they have taken this conspiracy theory, and we have that now, like the QAnon. I mean, it's entertaining, it's fun, but if you take it outside of that realm of like what if, and then take it to everyday reality and take all those crazy ideas with you, what's the value? Would it create more, or would it create less? Would it really be expansive, or will it just be add to the craziness? And so I realized that I thought like, oh, okay, I unfriended this friend, and I thought it was going to end, but it didn't. Actually, it got worse, and it really got worse. And to see that, because in the Philippines, I've lived there for years. I lived there more than for many years. Even, I just came to America like 7 years ago. And to see that type of politics play out in a first world country, it just like sort of wakes you up and makes you realize like, oh yeah, oh my God, they're just experiencing third world politics here. And it was like, I'm like, I never thought I'd see that here in America. Because unfortunately, when there's too much politics, the policies and just making sure that the citizens, ordinary citizens, are being taken care of, it just gets lost. It's just all about popularity. And in the Philippines, he was an actor, so in a way, he was like the template for Trump. Although Trump didn't know it, but he was a celebrity and he was a movie star, and he became so popular because of his, promises and stuff. But in the Philippines, we call them empty promises because they're just, words, but there has to be action, It's just, you can't just promise something and not keep it. And I realized that it's not just people in a third world countries that are prone to that, they're gullible like that. I found it really surprising that even in America, that people were as gullible as well, that they would really accept empty promises. And it was really eye-opening. And if people recall, Arab, although he was very popular and he had the mob rule, which is kind of funny if you think about it, but he was also in the process of being impeached. He wasn't impeached yet, but he was in the process of being impeached, and Trump was impeached. But this topic for this podcast is really about like the rise of the Trumpies, the rise of populism, and the rise of the mob mentality, the mob rule. It was kind of funny, and at the same time amusing and a little disturbing. I can't really explain it. I have mixed feelings about this. But I remember back in 2016 when Trump won, and there was like a coworker, or not, he wasn't really a coworker, but he worked in maintenance in one of the buildings I was working at. And we were friends. We were close friends, and he was black. And I enjoyed his company, but he was like, I remember him one day, and he was like whispering and like saying like, I can't believe it. The director of this building supports Trump, and I just can't believe it. And I was like, yeah, I can't believe it too. It's so strange, don't you think? And it felt like we had a connection, because we actually understood what was going on, that it was really disturbing, like for someone who was openly against certain minorities, and, who was at that time not lying as much, but who was lying and making empty promises. And to have that connection with someone that actually gets me, like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, like, I do see the same thing. And it's like, and it was like, it's kind of like, I can't explain it. You see something and it's like seeing a duck, knowing it's a duck that quacks and it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and it is a duck, and you know it, and you're agreeing with someone like, yeah, that's a duck. But then when you see other people that that they know that's not a duck, that's a duck, but they insist that it's not a duck, although it quacks like a duck, talks like a duck, and like walks like a duck. But for other people to not be in agreement with you that that's a duck, because it's like in their head, it really is a duck in reality, but they've decided that they don't want to think that it's a duck, So it was really weird. And at that time, I was just thinking, it's all just going to blow over. This is just going to pass. And boy, was I wrong. It actually got worse. And it wasn't just my friend that was into the Pizzagate and the conspiracy theories. Actually, from maybe just a dozen people that were thinking that way, suddenly there were like millions of people thinking that way. And to the point that these people would even try to destroy democracy. And it's like, looking at that, like, I just realized, oh my God, this is like, is America turning into a third world country? Because it has a third world country politics, which is, all about personality in politics. It's not about the policies anymore. It's about who's the most popular, and it's about for people to pay attention to them. It's actually like the politics in the Philippines. It's actually like show business. It's like it was fun. It was amusing, but at the end of the day, it was like a disservice to people and the citizens, because they were just mudslinging and just being like big personalities and promising things and not really getting things done. And to find that that's here in America as well, it is like, I can't explain it. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's happening here too. So finally, maybe America's caught up with the rest of the third world countries, if that's an assurance or anything like that. Maybe not. And I really thought that, when Trump was gone, like the crazies would just go away. But hopefully they will eventually go away and wake up. But it hasn't been that way so far. I mean, I think it's like, I look at it as a mind virus or something, and people are just, their minds have been, I don't know, like infected with a mind virus, and they can't think for themselves anymore. And for reality to work, people have to be in agreement. There should be agreement and stuff that, that's a lie, and that's not a lie, or this is reality, this is not reality. I mean, for there to be some sanity, or there should be an agreement, a basic agreement that, hey, let's call this quacking animal, quacking bird, a duck, and let's all be in agreement that we call it a duck. But there's just people now that, they may have had that agreement before, but they have chosen not to, out of the blue or all of a sudden, because they just feel like it. And that creates a lot of chaos and stuff. And it's kind of sad and a little alarming that, because in my country, politics has just dominated, that it's just, nothing ever gets done. It's all about politics, and the policies just get, they get lost. And I don't know. But the thing about the Philippines, which I really love, I guess, is that we don't have a two-party system. We have a multi-party system. So in a way, that is better because you have more choices, and you also don't have to vote straight ticket. You can have a vice president from the other party and a president from another party. So it's all about like, whichever politician you like, and there's no allegiance to a certain party. It's like not like here in America. It's like you're either blue or red, and sometimes it's not about the policies anymore. It's just they're just loyal to the party. And I mean, people should be loyal to policies that actually work for them and not against them. And I know it's politics should be about the people, and at least that's my ideal. But we all know that it's not how it works. And third world democracies have failed because like people are not in agreement with what needs to be done and the right thing to do, and it's just sad to see that here in America. It's just, it's become like just empty promises that nothing's gonna get done. But yeah, the rise of the Trumpies, it's been interesting, and I hope, because there's also a fall. So the rise and the fall of the Trumpies, hopefully, because we really want to, idealistically, we want, as a society, we want to be in agreement with, certain things that matter, and yeah, I don't know, that's just a thought, and that's just my point of view. You may or may not agree with me, but it's just like, that's just my point of view. And I was just talking or texting with my friend, and she said like, everything's so crazy. People have lost their common sense. They don't know how to think for themselves anymore. And yeah, that's it. People should start using their critical thinking and think for themselves, and not look at certain personalities, but look at their actions. Look at not listen to their words, but look at their actions. If there's alignment there. And also, I just hope that, with the rise of the Trumpies, there's also the rise of enlightenment, that people are going to be more enlightened, and that hopefully the crazies will wake up. But that's, who knows, it is a different, it's just been different. But one can hope, and I'm an optimist, and I really hope that reason will win out in the end, because it should. And thank you very much for listening, and I don't know if I'm ranting or making sense, but that's just my point of view.